This is FAYZED music.
All right, everybody, what's going on? And welcome to today's edition of SWAC Talk, the show we cover the SWAC inside and out. I'm your tour guide around the SWAC, C. Wells coming at you. And we're going to talk about the SWAC announcing the 2024 football TV schedule for ESPN and all their networks. So we're going to run through these, and I'm still waiting for the HBCU goal list to come out. So I'm gonna do like I did the last show, which was like last week, I think. I'm gonna try to suggest games for them each week, and we'll make it happen like that. So with that being said, man, I'm your tour guide around the SWAC. Hit those socials: Facebook is SWAC Talk, Instagram SWAC Talk, Twitter SWAC Talk 76. Don't forget to like the video, comment, and share, and hit the subscribe button to help us continue to grow, man. We appreciate everybody that's already subscribed. We appreciate the long time subscribers. We appreciate the new subscribers. We appreciate the I don't know yet subscribers. I'm gonna still call you a subscriber. I don't know yet people. First time, last time. We appreciate all y'all, man. Y'all, thank y'all for rocking with us, because without y'all, there's no any of us. No SWAC talk, no SWAC smoke, no slacking the SWAC, none of that. So thank y'all for rocking with us. So let's go ahead and jump into this. I'm gonna I'm gonna take this week by week. Opening week 0 is the MEAC SWAC Challenge. Florida A&M versus Norfolk State. That game's a 6:30 p.m. kickoff. August 24th. That game is on ABC. Moving on to week one, there's a ton of games on week 1. Pretty much all non-conference games. On Thursday, you have 3 games. Jackson State at ULM. That's a 6 p.m. kick, ESPN Plus. Pine Bluff at Arkansas, 6:30 p.m. kick, ESPNU. Alcorn at UAB, 7 p.m. kick, ESPN Plus. And then on Saturday, you have Bethune-Cookman at USF. That's a 6 p.m. kick on ESPN Plus. Alabama A&M at Auburn. That's a 6:30 kick, SEC Network Plus. Southern at McNeese. That's 7 p.m. kick, ESPN Plus. Grambling at ULL. 7 p.m. kick, ESPN Plus. Valley at Tennessee State, time to be announced. That's on ESPN Plus. And then you have South Carolina State and FAMU hooking up. That's a 5 p.m. kick. That game will be on ESPN Plus, and it will also be tape delayed on ESPNU at a later time. And then at 6 p.m. on Saturday, August 31st, we have the Labor Day Classic between Prairie View and Texas Southern. That game is on ESPN Plus. And then on Sunday, September 1st, is the Orange Blossom Classic, Alabama State and North Carolina Central. That game is at 2 p.m. on ESPN. So that does it for week 1. Week 2, again, another ton of non-conference games. You have FAMU at Miami. That's a 5 p.m. kick on ACC Network X. Texas Southern at Rice. That's a 6 p.m. kick. ESPN Plus. Alcorn at Vandy. That game is at 6:30. ESPNU broadcast. Valley at Lamar. ESPN Plus, time to be announced. And then also announced today, is Miles at Alabama State. That's a 5 p.m. kick on ESPN Plus. Looking at week 3. Week 3 we have Prairie View at Michigan State. That's on the Big Ten Network. Bethune-Cookman at Western Illinois. ESPN Plus 5:30 kick. That Prairie View game is at 2:30. Grambling at Texas A&M Commerce. That's a 6 p.m. kickoff. ESPN Plus. And also announced today, we have Southern at Jackson State. That's a 1 p.m. kickoff on ESPN Plus. I'm not a fan of that kickoff time. I would love a later game, but it's TV. So that game is the only other game that's announced on week 2. Um, if I had to pick a game, I didn't do any for the first 2 weeks. For this week, I would probably look at the Southern Heritage Classic, maybe being on HBCU. But I don't know if they got some kind of contract or anything like that. But if that game's not picked up by ESPN, they should probably try to throw their name in the hat on that one. So moving on to week 4, um, we have Alabama A&M at Austin Peay. That's a 6 p.m. kickoff on ESPN Plus. Alcorn at McNeese, 7 p.m. kick at ESPN Plus. Texas Southern at Lamar, time to be determined on ESPN Plus. Valley at Nichols on ESPN Plus. Um, Announced today, you have Jackson State and Grambling. That's a 6 p.m. kickoff. That's an ESPN Plus game on September 21st. Also on September 21st, Southern at Prairie View, also a 6 p.m. kickoff on ESPN Plus. So we have two big games that are picked up, and those were 2 games I thought may be picked up. Maybe it may have been picked up when I did my previous show. We're gonna link it in the description, even though I'm sure you already seen it, but link it in there anyway. The only game I can see that would be probably uh, available for HBCU Go would be the Clark Atlanta and Bethune game, if they chose to do a game that week. Otherwise, everything's snapped up, so there's nothing else left. Week 5, we're getting into conference play. We have announced September 28th. September 28th, there are 3 games on ESPN Plus that day. You have Alabama A&M at Florida A&M. That's a 5 p.m. kick. At 6 p.m., you have 2 games. Jackson State at Texas Southern, and the State Fair Classic between Grambling and Prairie View. That was the game I was definitely hoping would be picked up because that game, I feel like that game should always be televised. So your 2 options for HBCU Go this week, depending on if they televise the Bethune-Cookman Clark game, you will probably, if they wanted to, you would have Alcorn at Valley, or you could do Bama State at Bethune-Cookman, and that would be your week 5. Week 6, um, you have Prairie View at Incarnate Word, time to be announced. That's on ESPN Plus. Um, this week, let's see the games announced for this week. You have Florida A&M at Alabama State, ESPN Plus, and Alabama A&M versus Jackson State in Mobile. That game is a 4 p.m. kick. That's ESPN Plus. The FAMU at Bama State game is at 2 p.m. So two nice games on week 5. What is that? Week 6. Two nice games on week 6. That leaves Pine Bluff and Alcorn as your only other game that you probably would go for if you were looking for a HBCU Go game. Week 7, you have a Friday night game, 8:15 kickoff, Prairie View at Pine Bluff. That's on ESPNU. I've already shared my thoughts on Friday games. I'm not going to do it again. Um, if you want to hear it, you can check out my previous video, link in this description. And then on October 12th, the SWAC announced today, Alcorn at Grambling. That's a 2 p.m. kick. That game is on ESPN Plus. That's the only game that is on the schedule for that week. That leaves Valley at Bama State, Bethune-Cookman at Bama A&M, or Southern at Texas Southern. So you have three possibilities for HBCU Go game if they were to choose one. Week 8, you have you have two big games on week 8, and they're both gonna be televised. Um, you have Florida A&M at Jackson State and Alcorn at Southern. Both those games are they haven't been determined where they're gonna be broadcast on ESPN networks, but those two games are to be determined. So we'll keep an eye out on that further announcement. The FAMU JSU game is at 2:30, and Southern Alcorn is at 6. Moving on to the next week, which is week 9. Week 9, you have a pretty full slate. You have 3 games on the docket that week. You have Texas A&M Commerce at Prairie View. That's an ESPN Plus game. That's a 2 p.m. kickoff at 2:30. You have Bama State versus Alabama A&M in the Magic City Classic. That's to be determined network wise. And at 6 p.m. you have Southern at FAMU, also to be determined network wise. So you have, like I said, you have three big games to be televised. That Prairie View game is at homecoming, so that's a big game in and of itself. Um, if you want to choose HBCU go, you have Grambling at Texas Southern, Jackson State at Bethune-Cookman, or Valley and Pine Bluff. Which, if neither one of them teams have been on there, I think you go for that one just because I think neither one of the teams have a lot of opportunities. So you should kind of roll with that one. Week 10, um, week 10, which is the first weekend of November. You have 3 games on the docket. You have Pine Bluff at Jackson State. That's a 2 p.m. kickoff on ESPN Plus. Texas Southern at Florida A&M. 3 p.m. kickoff on ESPN Plus, and Bama State versus Alcorn in Mobile. ESPN Plus. That game is at 4 p.m. So that leaves Grambling at Bethune-Cookman, Southern at Alabama A&M, and Prairie View at Valley. So you kind of already, you probably already had Prairie View and Valley and Pine Bluff maybe the week before. So you looking at Grambling, Bethune-Cookman. I think those two teams probably gonna have a couple games on there. So that's probably where you're gonna get those teams there. Week 11, you have 2 games on the schedule. You have Alabama State at Grambling. That's a 2 p.m. kickoff on ESPN Plus, and Florida A&M at Prairie View, also a 2 p.m. kick on ESPN Plus. That leaves Bethune-Cookman at Southern, Pine Bluff hosting Alabama A&M, Valley at Jackson State, Texas Southern at Alcorn. So there's some pretty decent games if you would have wanted to choose one that week. Week 12, as we make our way toward the end of the season, week 12, you have a Thursday night game, Grambling at Alabama A&M. That's ESPNU at 7 p.m. That leaves 5 games on the rest of on Saturday, and those games you have Jackson State at Alabama State, ESPN Plus 2 p.m. Alcorn at Prairie View, ESPN Plus 2 p.m. And those will be our ESPN games that day. So otherwise, you have Pine Bluff at Southern, Bethune-Cookman at Texas Southern, or Valley at FAMU to choose from if you so chose. Week 13, which is the final week of most teams' regular season, you have the Florida Classic at 2:30 p.m. It hasn't been determined where it's going to be put on ESPN, but it will be there. Yeah, the Soul Bowl at 2 p.m. also on November 23rd on ESPN Plus, Jackson State at Alcorn, and then Prairie View at Bama State is a 2 p.m. kick, and that game is on ESPN Plus. Then that leaves us with our final regular season ESPN game is the following week, week 14, which is the Turkey Day Classic between Tuskegee and Bama State. That game is at 1 p.m. on ESPNU. Then you have the SWAC Championship on December 7th at 2 p.m. on ESPN2. And then Saturday, December 14th at 11 a.m. is the Celebration Bowl on ABC. So that's our schedule that was announced by the SWAC for all ESPN games. You can do with that as you like. Um, we'll continue to talk. We'll continue to cover this. If HBCU drops a list, if HBCU Go drops a list, then we'll talk about it then too. So, but with that being said, man, I'm your tour guide around the SWAC. See well signing out, and I'm gonna catch y'all on the rebound. Peace.